right now we got a fellow that's going to put a little humor in the show. He's always got a laugh for us, so let's get together and give him a big welcome, Bob Corley.
Well, I heard what you said. You said I was going to put a little humor in the show.
Yeah.
I'll put as little as anybody. Say, you know, I've been traveling again. The feller next door asked me to go up yonder to Chicago with him to that Democrat convention. I was going to be what they call an alternate delegate. That meant that him and me would take turns in electing the president. Well, one of the delegates was from Texas, and he was telling me about his trip to Mexico. He went to see this lady bullfighter down there. She would go into the pasture and fight a bull while a whole bunch of people would watch. He had a word for what it was she done. Tore her drawers, I believe. Well, we went over there to the stockyards to this big old barn, and there's this fella up there on the stage with a sledgehammer, and he's doing his best to wreck the pulpit with him. His name is Mr. Chairman. It is like a family reunion, everybody singing songs and making speeches and all, you know. And then everybody got quiet, and the clerk commenced to call the roll for the making nominations for President of the United States. Well, now, all of the states is there and 2 or 3 foreign countries. One lady got up and said, I am from Hawaii, and I'd like to make a motion. I turned to my friend, I said, what's this? She's going to do the hula. Well, I tell you, I jumped up there and I says, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman. And he says, I recognize a delegate from Georgia. And I says, no, you don't. You ain't never seen me before in your life. He says, for what purpose are you addressing the chair? And I said, I ain't addressing no chair. I'm talking to you. I said, Mr. Chairman, I heard that Kentucky was going to nominate a dark horse. And I think you ought to tell them the difference between a political race and a horse race. He says, well, what is the difference? And I said, why, in a horse race, the entire horse runs. I sat down then, but I was still worried about Kentucky nominating a horse. You see, I know what happened down home once when we put a jackass in office. They nominated a whole passel of fellers, and pretty soon it seemed like everybody jumped up and commenced to milling around. I got pushed into a parade of some kind or other, and this lady carrying a sign that said Pennsylvania, she come up there to me and she said, which way is the rostrum? I told her it was out in the hall, but that if it was like the men, she better take a dime with her. I never did find out who got nominated, but my uncle down home, he watched the whole thing on television. He wasn't quite sure either, but he said he thought they nominated some woman named Betty Furness. I've studied about it, and I know now why the Democrats meet up yonder at the stockyards in Chicago and why the Republicans meet out yonder at the Cow Palace in San Francisco. It's that both parties are so good at shooting the bull and milking the taxpayer.
Let's get together.